The Galaxy S26 Ultra might be launching soon, but the biggest question isn't about the camera or the chip, it's whether Samsung dares to charge even more for a phone that already costs $1,300. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. And according to a new poll, most people are basically saying, please don't. As Samsung prepares to unveil the Galaxy S26 series, pricing has become the elephant in the room. The Ultra model already sits at a steep $1,299, and while leaks keep teasing specs and features, none of that really matters if the price climbs without a clear reason. That's why this recent poll is interesting. Nearly 38% of voters expect Samsung to keep the Galaxy S26 Ultra at exactly the same price as the S25 Ultra. Not cheaper, not more expensive, just hold the line. And honestly, that expectation feels completely reasonable. $1,300 for a smartphone is already a serious commitment. At that price, people aren't just buying a phone, they're buying the promise that it's the best Android experience available. If Samsung doesn't deliver meaningful upgrades, asking for even more money starts to feel less like premium pricing and more like pushing your luck. What makes this matter even more is how competitive the Android market has become. Samsung no longer exists in a space where it can play it safe and still win by default. Brands like Xiaomi and OnePlus are moving aggressively, offering bigger batteries, faster charging, and bold hardware choices, often for less money. That changes the value conversation completely. Take Xiaomi's upcoming 17 Pro Max. It's shaping up to be a direct rival to the S26 Ultra, but with a much larger battery and significantly faster charging. These are two areas where Samsung has been frustratingly conservative for years. While others are pushing battery tech forward, Samsung is still moving in tiny, careful steps. And when competitors are offering more while charging less, that conservative approach becomes a real problem. This is where a price increase would hurt Samsung the most. If the Galaxy S26 Ultra launches at a higher price without addressing these gaps, it doesn't just look expensive, it looks out of touch. People start asking uncomfortable questions like why they're paying more for slower charging or smaller battery gains when alternatives exist. Now, to be fair, a higher price wouldn't automatically be a deal breaker if Samsung actually earns it. There are a few upgrades that would instantly change the conversation. One of the biggest would be adopting silicon carbon battery technology. We've already seen what this can do with phones like the OnePlus 15, which reportedly packs a massive 7,300 milliamp hour battery without becoming absurdly thick or heavy. If Samsung brought something like that to the Ultra, suddenly a price increase feels easier to justify. Charging speed is another big one. Faster wired charging, better wireless charging, or both would immediately make the phone feel more modern. Even something more experimental, like a secondary rear display similar to what Xiaomi is doing, could help bring back that wow factor Samsung's Ultra phones used to have. It doesn't need to be a gimmick, but it does need to feel new and genuinely useful. What definitely wouldn't sit well is a price hike blamed purely on inflation or rising component costs. That explanation might make sense on a spreadsheet, but for buyers it just feels like paying more for the same experience, and that's how frustration builds. When people feel like a brand is taking advantage of loyalty instead of rewarding it, they start looking elsewhere, even if they've been Samsung users for years. This is why keeping the Galaxy S26 Ultra at $1,299 feels like the smartest move. It maintains goodwill, avoids unnecessary backlash, and keeps Samsung competitive in a market that's no longer forgiving. And it's not like this would be unprecedented. Apple managed to hold pricing steady with the iPhone 17 series, and OnePlus did the same with the OnePlus 15, despite the same market pressures Samsung is facing. That said, there is a wild card here. Some rumors point to rising RAM costs potentially forcing Samsung's hand. If that happens, a price increase might be unavoidable. But even then, Samsung needs to give people something tangible in return. Bigger battery, faster charging, a standout feature that actually changes how you use the phone. If Samsung does raise the price, the real issue won't be the number itself. It'll be whether the Galaxy S26 Ultra truly feels like it deserves it. And that's the standard Samsung has to meet now. Not just better than last year, but better enough to justify every extra dollar. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.